We're going to talk about Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson making some crazy career choices. But first, like, rate, subscribe, comment. Did you like the fight? Who do you want, like Dubois or Wardley to fight next? Do you want a Shakur Devin Haney fight? Comment literally anything. The algorithm does not care. All right, let's get into it. This weekend was Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois. It was probably the fight of the year in the heavyweight division. We knew it was going to be sick going in. It lived up to every expectation. Wardley knocked it down with the first punch of the fight. And from then on, we're like, oh, it's all Wardley. People were favoring Wardley going into this just because there's so much more exciting stuff if Wardley won. Daniel Dubois, known to give up in fights. That was sort of the knock on him. Athletic, strong, not the best on defense, but how much does he really care? Well, turns out a lot. He got up from the first knockdown immediately. Went on, fought through the first round. Second round, he wins. Third round, gets knocked down again, gets up, probably wins every other round of the fight until he knocks him out in the 11th round. And Wardley, goddamn, strong chin. Maybe the strongest chin in the heavyweight division. Can't believe he was still standing after all that and still throwing punches. I think he had his wits about him. I don't even know if I would have stopped that fight. I saw he was taking a lot of damage, but it seemed like he was all there mentally, and you're supposed to keep that fight going. But it was a solid stoppage. No complaints on that. Not like the Wardley Parker thing. There's been some early stoppages, especially in England. I'd say the interesting thing about this is what happens for the next guys. Is there a rematch? I want it because it was an insane fight. The only thing is Wardley took a lot of damage. They both did. So would they be able to do it in the next 6 months? If not, I think Dubois fights either Moses Atama next or Ajit Kabayel, depending on what Usyk does. He's not getting a third Usyk fight. No one wants that. It'd be cool to unify the belts again, but Usyk's the undisputed champion. I don't care if he has all the belts. He got stripped for one. It just went to Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley next. He'll probably have to rebuild, maybe fight some other guys. But the Moses Atama Dubois fight, that's what we all want. Next up, we are going to talk about some crazy news that I've been hearing this weekend. Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson in talks to not only fight each other, but to sign with Zuffa. There was a lot of talks about the Shakur Devin Haney thing, and then it kind of fell off, and I started seeing a lot about Shakur talking to Zuffa, possibly signing with them, which would be another one of Zuffa stealing from Matchroom. And then I started seeing Devin Haney was talking to Zuffa, and his deal is going to be finalized for a huge $100 million deal. And if they get the two arguably biggest American stars, besides Ryan Garcia, who also might fight on Zuffa because he wants to fight Conor Ben, he just has to get out of his contract with Oscar De La Hoya. This Zuffa thing is coming, and it's coming fast. They're getting the Ali Act undone. I saw the Senate hearings. There's no chance that thing survives. Just really interesting. Just as everything's like aligned on DAZN, Zuffa comes in. They're supposed to be the thing that stops all the bickering between promoters, although, oh, we can't fight him because he's on that promotion stuff. And now they're that guy. Now all the other promoters are all aligned under the DAZN, and they're all doing cross-promotional fights, and the only people being iced out is Zuffa. Now we can't get a Benavidez-J. Batalla fight. They're the ones stopping big fights from happening now. It's the opposite of why they're supposed to exist. But I guess there was always going to be more bumps in this road. They had a really good card this weekend with Shane Mosley knocked out Sergio Boacek. Shane Mosley Jr., not the Shane Mosley from before, obviously. But yeah, Zuffa is coming. I don't know if it's good for fighters. They're doing if you don't know, Zuffa is Dana White's Saudi-backed boxing league he is starting. Trying to do it in the UFC mode of kind of having a league, everyone under one promotion, everybody having just a monopoly on the sport, all the fights getting made. And, a lot of people are pretty skeptical about it, especially UFC fans. They're the most skeptical. They do not think Dana and TKO does a great job, which is crazy to me, but maybe they know more than me. They know a lot more about UFC than I do. If they get Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, they just kind of own the American market at that point, which might be good. As long as they can still fight guys on the other promotions, and the other promotions and the sanctioning belts are willing to do it, while Zuffa keeps trying to build their thing, that's a good thing, because no one in America has DAZN. It's what has, I think, while I like that everyone's on DAZN and we who are boxing fans get all the fights we want now, it kind of keeps it from growing in America that everyone went to DAZN instead of ESPN and HBO like they used to be, because no one in America has DAZN. DAZN is known for like international soccer and like a bunch of things that are hugely starts, snooker, a bunch of things that are hugely popular globally, but not popular in America. So no one here has DAZN unless you're already a boxing fan. Zuffa has Paramount Plus. I think the third biggest streaming service, and it's going to be even bigger when it merges with HBO. So I think this is actually a really good thing for American boxing. I know people are going to have their issues with it. They have their issues with Dana White. They have some pretty good issues with Saudi. Hey, as a New Yorker, I saw what they fucking did to our towers. But if they fix boxing, all is forgiven, I guess. Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson is the most consequential, biggest boxing fight that is guaranteed to be boring. These are the two lowest punch output, defensively minded fighters in the sport going at each other. There might be like 4 punches thrown around. No one's getting hit hard in that fight. They both have pillow hands. I know Devin Haney knocked down Brian Norman in his last fight, but come on. And, you know, it'd be cool. Maybe we'll get the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney rematch on Zuffa thing. Maybe they'll do some more stuff with Netflix. That's fun. I heard Dana White might be part of the promotion with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. I know Eddie Hearn's not too happy about that because he is Anthony Joshua's exclusive guy. They're like best friends. So I don't know if that's true. That's just Dana talking shit. He's got a lot going on in his life with the White House card and the slow death of the UFC popularity. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. The Zuffa thing's so new. They just had their 6th card. I believe they started... When was their first card? I think their first card was the weekend of the Shakur Tio fight. It was that Sunday. It was the next day was their first card. And they're already 6 cards in. I'd say about half of them have been really good, especially for where they've started. They already have J.O. Bertaya. They had Conor Ben. They put him on a Netflix card. So they're doing some really interesting big things. I like what they're doing. I don't like the Apex. Besides that, like if you can't do Shakur, Devin Haney in the fucking Apex. But besides that, I think people are overreacting. I don't think they're going to be able to ruin boxing because it's not starting from scratch like they did to MMA. MMA guys were used to making no money. So when they monopolized it, like the money that they were making was more than the money that they were getting before. I don't think, especially American boxers, are going to go for that. They're already paying them way more. They're going to give Devin Haney $100 million deals, reportedly. So I don't think it's as bad as people say. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm too naive. Maybe I don't pay enough attention to what they've done in the UFC. All that can be true. And obviously they want to pay them as little as possible. They're the bosses. That's what bosses do. But yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, rate, subscribe. See you next time.